Happy Monday to you all. Hello.
Hello, sir. How are we?
All right, seems like you're in the land of Los Angeles, and I'm in the land of my house.
That's right. It is. I don't know that I'm in the land of Los Angeles as much as I just can't stand looking at the cold anymore.
Yeah, it's bad, man.
It is cold.
It is really, really bad. Hello, Dylan and Habu and Cody and everybody. It's cold. I'm sick and tired of this crap, and I need to move to Florida. I talked about that. Do you realize that I've been out of the hospital? It'll be in May of this year. It'll be 3 years.
Okay.
Since I lost my leg and everything. It seems like it happened fucking yesterday. But it's
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
I would like to also make a mention and announcement at the beginning of the show today that, Chris, I haven't even told you this. We are one step closer to having this podcast be on the Salem podcast network.
Really? So do we have to watch our language now?
And I was told that we don't have to, kill all the bad language, but need to, calm it down a little bit when it comes to saying you're a cunt and a whore and bitch, fuck this and everything else.
Hey, you just got this episode kicked off. What are you doing?
So just letting you know that we are one step closer to that happening. So that will be a good thing, a positive thing for the show, I think.
That would be good. That would be great.
And, maybe cleaning up the language wouldn't necessarily be a bad thing.
Well, it would be, but we'll do it. I mean, it is what it is, Dude,
we might attract a younger audience.
I don't know if you're even aware of this, but Chris Aiken Presents, my other show, one of my other shows, is on commercial radio out there in Indianapolis on the Shark at 103.5, I believe it is.
Nice.
In Indianapolis, and I do the first 30 minutes or so completely FCC friendly.
Oh, well, there you go. See?
I do the whole, what the heck is going on with these frickin' people?
Yes. So we'll definitely have to save the fun stuff for Minds when people sign up for Minds.
Well, that's it. We have that avenue now.
And pay a couple extra bucks to go check out the uncensored stuff. But yes, I talked to some people today, and I think that's going to be actually heading closer in the next couple of weeks. So
that'd be great. Well, if we do that, then maybe what we do is we change this show, the Monday episode, to also having a Minds component. Maybe. So that the people that like the filthy can get the filthy twice as much.
Or we do an hour of clean and then an hour of clean and then go do the half hour.
Go do Minds. Yeah, we could do that too. That all sounds good to me. I like all of it.
So I was happy to find that out today. So I'm excited.
Yeah, that'll be good.
Yeah. So I have a problem. You see the icicles behind me right now?
I do.
That is actually what it looks like on my front porch. And so, and twice in the past week or so, it's looked like that. So you continue to just trip down. And so, I've been taking shovel or whatever, and I've been knocking this crap to the ground. And now there's a big pile of ice and snow in front of my doorway.
Okay.
Now, the problem is that I'm having a recliner delivered to my house tomorrow. So my dad was really nice and actually got me a recliner. Now, the reason I needed a recliner is because for 3 years, as I brought up a couple minutes ago, I've been home, and my couch is one of these couches, big L, like whatever you call it, sectional couch.
Sectional, yeah.
It has no arms on it.
Okay.
And so for me to sit in it, it's really soft and cushy, so you sink down into it. But with the leg, and when I get home at night, I like to take the leg off, I have no way of standing up. Even when I have a prosthetic on, it's very difficult to get up.
Yeah, because you can't kick your leg back to kind of push you up.
Yeah, and there's a coffee table right there, and there's no arms to push myself up and stuff like that. So I'm just kind of like if I get robbed, I'm screwed. I'm just sitting there like a dumbass. I'll get shot in the face 12 times and everything else. So I needed a recliner.
Okay.
And I was talking to my dad about it, and I was trying to get one, but I've had 2 different car issues that are sent me back hundreds and hundreds of dollars.
Sure.
And so I need something. I've been looking for a recliner, and so he's like, you know what, I got it.
Okay, that's
nice. It was awesome of my dad to do that for me, and my stepmom to do that for me, and I really appreciate it. It's fantastic. But it gets delivered tomorrow. Now the problem is I don't know how they're going to get through the front door because there's this mound of fucking. It looks like an iceberg sitting in front of my door. So I'm hoping that they can go through the garage and take it in. And now it has to be assembled. So I'm assuming it comes in pieces that they'll be able to get it in through the garage and into the house through that direction. But I don't know.
Dude, why don't you just go over to you or have the wife go over to I don't know, Walmart or somewhere and grab a big old thing of salt and just throw the salt on.
I bought a 50-pound bag last night of rock salt. It was supposed to be this melting whatever. It was better than the $7.99 version that I was going to buy, but it's a 50-pound freaking bag.
Is it the big old things or little ones? Little chips?
It was salt. It doesn't look like sand. I mean, it's little chunks of salt. I don't know the difference. And so I was outside last night dumping all this shit all over the place. And I got up this morning. It's done nothing. And I got home today. I went out to the front step. And again, I see all these icicles sitting there in the snow and everything. And I started beating it with a golf club. And literally, it is like an iceberg. Like, it's impossible. I don't know what to do with this damn thing. So I'm praying to God that they can actually get into the garage and go through that door. Because otherwise, I don't know what they're going to do. I'm going to have this great recliner. It's going to be set up in the garage.
Nice.
Sit out there,
They'll be able to get it in. If it has to be assembled, it'll fit through the garage door or the side door into the garage.
If you go through the garage door, like the door to the house from the garage, because it's an attached garage, that's where the laundry, like the washer and dryer are. Okay. So it's not a very wide opening like hallway to get into the house. And so I don't know, depending on how big these boxes are, I don't know, I'm going to get screwed.
I'm hoping you got a piece of wood somewhere that you could lay over top of the ice?
Well, then they'll slip on the ice, on the board.
No,
so the board
put the board down. Put the board down. I mean, they only got to take about 4 steps on the ice.
Look, I got my first toolbox for Christmas. All right. I don't know exactly. I'm not exactly a handyman. All right. I told my dad, I was like, yeah, I want to be like house guy. I want to be like, there's a little like workbench in the garage and stuff. I want to whittle stuff.
Right. Well, there's your answer. They'll be able to get it in, no problem.
But so I want to be like, you ever watch Home Improvement back in the day? I want to be Tim the Tool Man. I want to be that guy that has stuff around the house. And so like there's a little workbench in the garage and I want to like whittle or carve or something, make pictures. I don't know what I want to do, but I just want to be that guy. I'm getting old in age here and I want to start being, I want to have a hose. I don't have a hose for my house. Like I want a hose just to say I have a hose, something that winds up and I can put it in the garage and spray down my nature stone and stuff like that. I want to be house guy. But the problem with the house guy for me is I didn't even own a hammer. Like I own I can't even change a light bulb in my house because they're like too high up for me. And I have no step ladder. I got nothing. So for Christmas, my dad bought me a toolbox and there's a drill in there, which is really nice. I can drill stuff now, and there's a hammer, and there's some like round things that I don't know what they do, but they attach to something else, and I can twist stuff. I don't know. I don't know what tools are, man. I'm looking to put gas in my car, and now I got a toolbox. But now I look good. Like I went to the garage, I took my toolbox out there, and I opened it up real big, so like all the tools are displayed on my workbench. So I'm getting
but
there.
That doesn't look that good when they all look like they've never been used.
Well, that's a different story. But, I have like separate screwdrivers now that are laid out. So it looks like, again, I look like a...
Dude, something happened to your microphone. It just started screaming loud. Holy smoke. I'm muting you because, wow, something is like really screwing up here. I don't know what happened, but something happened, Goofy. Let's see. You're really loud now. I'm going to mute you and keep coming in and out. You got to turn it down on your computer. Oh, good. You don't know how. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
Oh, now you're fixed. I don't know what happened there. Holy smokes.
What happened?
I don't know. Dude, it just went.
Do you think I know? Okay, you think I actually know how to do anything? I just told you I don't know how to use a hammer. You were telling me that I can set a microphone thing.
And now whatever you did fixed it, so.
I didn't do anything.
Oh, whatever happened, it stopped.
I sat here.
Now it sounds better. I don't know what happened. Everybody, even in the chat room, heard it. It just went crazy there for a second.
Again, I have screwdrivers that I don't know the names of, and you're telling me that I did something to my microphone to make it louder. I got nothing here. What me to do?
I guess better now than when our guests call in, because that would have been.
We do have a guest coming up in a little bit.
We do. The band Sons of Silver, who are a Billboard Top 30 band, and they're gonna be coming in. They're going out on tour with Myles Kennedy. That should be good.
I'll tell you what I did yesterday. I sat there and knowing that they were coming on. I don't really know much about the band, but
sure.
I listened to some of their music, and it's really good, man. I was really kind of impressed. It's got my style of music. I like it.
Yeah. Well, I try not to bring like the deep metal bands here, because I know while that is my thing, I know that isn't the audience's thing. So I try to bring bands that I think you'll dig. But this band really is good. I very much agree, and I've known Peter for a little while now, who's going to be on with us, Peter Argyropoulos, and I know you'll never say that, so.
No. Scott asked if I'm going to put together the recliner. No, they're supposed to deliver it tomorrow, and then somebody is coming over to assemble it on Wednesday. I'm paying the assembly fee, which is like $90, I think. Okay. $90 to come in and put together a recliner. If I was halfway smart or knew how to use a tool in a toolbox, I should be able to do it. But no, I'm not risking me falling to the ground and dying.
I'm going to disagree with you about if you were halfway smart. Even if you weren't halfway smart, you let them do it. Let them be responsible for it, because there's nothing worse than when you do try to do it and you mess it up. That's always the worst. Or you end up with 4 extra screws and you don't learn about it till 6 months later when the whole thing falls apart on you.
Well, that's just it. I mean, we've ordered like patio furniture before that I needed to put together. And my daughter and I sat there and tried to put it together, right? And exactly what you're saying. There's extra screws and I don't know where they went to. And then when you sit on it, it like sways back and forth.
Yeah.
So it definitely is not put together properly. But I don't know.
Yeah, I do. I can't be bothered anymore with it, because I know I'll do it wrong. Even if I sit there and even if there's a YouTube video and it tells me, okay, now there should be 3 screws, put them here, here, and here, I'll somehow screw it up every time.
Yeah, I'm definitely not a handy guy. Well, I'm handicapped, but I'm just not a handy guy. I don't know. I don't know what happened with the mic. I don't touch anything. There
with a wrench on your microphone.
I just sit here, man. I don't do anything.
It's fixed now. It seems fine. So
I had to have Jake, the guy that listens to the show, come over to the house and set up this thing for me to actually use it. When I started doing a podcast, I got nothing, dude. Look, I can control a radio station all day long, but I don't know how to do anything else.
Well, you're going to have to get Jake to come back over there so that we can switch to Rumble from StreamYard here sooner or later. I mean, we have time, but...
What does that mean?
Means you're going to have to use a different piece of software to have your green screen.
What is software? I don't understand anything you just said.
We're not going to use StreamYard, the link that you go into now. We're going to use a different program. Unless you have an extra $927 laying around to renew this one.
Oh, it's underneath where my mic is plugged in. That's where I keep the $927.
Is that it?
Maybe that's the stack of cash is so high it disrupted the volume on the microphone.
It could be, but yeah, that is such a crime, dude. I mean, I love this software that we use, and it's I mean, you can even attest to this. It's super easy to use.
Yeah.
Click a link, you're in. Boom, that's it. But they raised their rate over 50% for the new year.
Wow.
They went from, because our cost was like $420 for a year, and now it's $927. Like,
so
God.
Does that mean, is it going to be any different? Like if somebody wants to watch it, is it going to be
the
same?
No. Watching it will be exactly the same. It's just me and you will connect to a different place. And
if we have a guest on, they just give a different link than what we normally do.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Same. It'll be virtually the same for everything except for where we are.
You are aware that I have a problem every time that we do the show, and now you're going to switch it up on me so that it's even worse.
Okay. I am, because I don't have a choice unless you have $927.
Dude, you got some major players on your podcast network. Why don't they fork over some cash?
Still, I don't want to pay that much money for something that's not worth that. It's not worth it.
Dude, you have a guy named the Lord.
I know.
The Lord.
He should have that money. I wish he would start a church.
Just make it. Come on.
Yeah. There it is. Just like Jesus with the water or with the fish, he could be the Jesus of the CMS network and just make money. That'd be great.
Handyman from In Living Color. That's what I am. I am handyman. All I need is a cape.
Anyway.
I'm looking at some of these texts. Sorry, I'm not like.
No, it's all good.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. You when you hear it back, you'll be like, Jesus.
Well, what happened? I mean, what did I do?
Nothing. You were talking, all of a sudden, sounded like a bomb blew up. I was like, what the hell is going on over there?
You never know. You never know what could happen.
See, maybe that'll be fixed with the new software. Maybe it's the software that's doing it.
I doubt it. I'm sure it's something that I did.
Yes, sitting there.
See, that's the problem. Like you move, like I have the prosthetic leg over where all the wires are.
Right.
So if I move it, I don't feel that I'm hitting any wires or anything. So I may have moved my leg and hit something and didn't know it.
That could be.
But I don't know why it would make it loud.
Yeah, I don't know. Just something goofed up. It's probably your browser or something. I mean, I'm not going to get into a whole techie discussion, but.
So I was talking to. You want to talk about the fires for a little bit?
Yeah.
I was talking to a rabbi. He's a nationally known rabbi, but he lives out in California.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm talking to him. Actually, he texted me over the weekend. We were talking a little bit. And he was telling me that the Jews out in California are blaming Donald Trump for the fires.
Yeah, I've seen quite a few posts from various sources saying this.
I'm not sure what he did. I'm not sure exactly. And then I had people texting me or tweeting at me like, well, he hasn't given any money to the fires. Nothing. Well,
he's not the president.
He's not the president yet. What do you want him to do? Just write a check. Here you go. What do you want me to do?
That seems to be a recurring theme of the stupid left. I have seen so many posts that are like, your eggs are still $4.90 a dozen. He hasn't lowered the price of your grass. It's like the man's not in power. Just because the guy you have had for the last 4 years has never been in power doesn't mean that this guy takes power until next week. Right? I mean, that's the way it works.
That's the way it works.
And believe me, the guy that's still sitting in the chair is doing everything he can to make it harder for the guy that's gonna sit in the chair to take the chair.
So you want to hear some of the tweets that I've been getting?
Sure.
I don't know which posts is that what you call them now? X posts?
X posts or whatever. They're tweets.
Yes. This guy Patrick, Patty C44. Everybody wants to look him up on X. Patty C44 on X. Decided that he was going to attack Donald Trump because this guy's apparently Canadian, and Donald Trump says he wants to make Canada the 51st state or whatever. And he's proceeded to say stuff like, my entire argument was based on what's happening in the news. Orange Man wants Canada as the 51st state. America, what does America lead in? Mass shootings, political landscape, healthcare, economy, healthcare, you repeated twice. Stay in your own lane, you dumb fuck, is what he said to me. I said, continue to suck the cock of socialism, you dumb bastard, and I dare you to call me a dumb fuck to my face, you coward. This is the kind of argument. This is how I spend my day now, dude.
Arguing with idiots?
Fuck your dents, he says. You've been getting beat like you stole something, and the 4 tweets since I sent, and it wouldn't change if I ever met you. Get fucked.
Wow, what a tough guy behind the keyboard.
He is.
See, I just can't be bothered with these people. They're just fucking idiots.
What was the other one I got that I thought was entertaining? I just love X anymore. It's so great.
X is, well, you can definitely get in a fight on X, that's for sure.
Here we go. How about this one? All I did was say, hey, apparently school wasn't your strong point. You can't really spell all that well. Because he fucked up his post, whatever this other guy, I don't know. This guy's a wrestler or something.
Okay.
And he responds to me, sure, whatever you say, you're the type of person my father warned me about. Gay and black hating cracker who would make me disappear if the chance came. And your actions lead me to believe he was right. So while I exit this discussion, enjoy your new life, blocked. And then he blocked me.
Oh, wow. Tough guy. Blocked.
He's a tough guy. So now I can't say anything back to him. But so I said nothing about anything other than, hey, you can't really spell all that well. School apparently wasn't your strong suit. Yeah. And now I'm a gay and black hating cracker.
You know how I respond to that? Yes, I am. You're correct. I will not engage with people. If they throw a name at me, you're a racist, you're a homophobe. I always write back, correct. Because it pisses them off even more.
I just don't understand. I mean, like, I said nothing about race, yet he's the one calling me a gay and black hating cracker.
Dude, because they've been trained that works for the last 4 years.
I mean, and then to be a big pussy and block me. I mean, if you're going to be the big tough guy and start calling me a racist and homophobe and all this kind of stuff, then don't block me. At least let me say what I want to say. What's he afraid of? I mean, he literally thinks I'm gonna execute him or something.
Because nobody wants to have a conversation or discourse, dude. You didn't learn that from the Chiselka era of this show? Nobody truly, no matter how much these lefties say that they want to have discussion and discourse and resolution, they don't. The only discussion they want is for them to say something and your discussion to be, wow, you are so correct. That's the only discussion that lefties want to have.
And again, it's really sad because there are people that are getting destroyed by these fires. I mean, it's devastating.
Oh, yeah, it's awful. Dude, I have tons of friends.
I mean, they don't blame the people that are actually to blame. Gavin Newsom, the mayor of that frickin' city, they're the ones to blame. They're the ones that didn't have water stored. They're the ones that the fire hydrants didn't have enough pressure. There wasn't enough water. I mean, they're the ones that, I hate to tell you this, they donated tons of surplus supplies to the Ukraine.
Yeah.
And now they don't have any. So, I mean, they were stopping, get this one, they were stopping fire trucks coming from Oregon, right? Mm-hmm. To help with the fires.
Yeah.
To check them for emissions tests before they came in to help.
Yeah. It's like, come on.
And then they're denying
in your burning city. Yeah.
Now they're denying it to say, no, we're doing equipment checks. Dude, if they're coming to help you, I'm pretty sure their equipment has been checked. Take the help. Your cities are burning to the ground. You're going to blame Donald Trump and Republicans? Get the fuck out of here. You guys do the jobs we're supposed to do.
It's a mess, and it is really showcasing how stupid people have gotten to the point where humanity comes second to politics, and that's nonsense. You know, look, I'm all for political discourse. You know that. I'm all for having a good argument with somebody about politics or this and that. This ain't there's a time and a place, though, and this ain't a time when you literally have people losing their livelihoods. It ain't the time.
No,
it's just not the time. You know what? You can have this argument in 2 months once everything's put out. And we have the real problem that we're going to have, which is 500,000 people displaced and not working and no money to take care of them because you gave it all to immigrants and whatever.
Now, there is a time and place, you're right. But at the same time, if you're going to sit here and you're going to blame Donald Trump, then you should really look in the mirror and see who to actually blame. And some of these people, some of them, including some of these celebrities, are actually blaming the right people. While we're talking about the fire state, we got our guest coming up, what, in like 2 minutes?
2 minutes, yeah.
I want to say this. Natalie brought it up in the text, but I do have some info here. Mario from Mario's Barbershop, who always helps out with disasters when they strike, whether it's here in Ohio or across the country, has started they've transitioned into Hands to America.
Okay.
Hands to America, a 501c3 nonprofit. All right, they've been on the ground for hurricane victims, survivors, fire families, tornadoes, all that kind of stuff. But they're asking for donations. That makes all the difference. Monetary contributions, cars, trucks, boats, motorcycles, campers, all this kind of stuff. It's a 501c3. All right.
Okay.
You can call today 845-2HANDS, TOHANDS. All right.
Okay.
I think it's 844. He has two different numbers here. 844-864-2637. You can also reach him at. Or locally, 216-520-1977 or handstoamerica.org.
All right.
Handstoamerica.org. You can help out if you want to help out the fire victims. Mario, the barbershop, and his friends are doing some good things and trying to help some people.
Absolutely. Donate it there. Do not give it to the Red Cross, though. I'm going to tell you that straight up. If you're willing to donate to something smaller like that, or if you have friends or whatever that are in LA, donate it to them directly. Do not give it to the Red Cross. The Red Cross are scum. They really are. I have nothing but contempt for the Red Cross. Because when I needed the Red Cross, when I got blown up, they were like, no, you don't get anything. It's like, yeah, thanks.
Well, handstoamerica.org if you want to help out.
Yeah, please do. I definitely encourage that. But again, I just encourage it to be donate to smaller companies where you know your money's going to get there, instead of 70% of it going to somewhere other than that.
Yeah. The mayor and the fire chief arguing. Oh, well, of course, because the fire chief knows that they don't have what they need.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you've seen some of the pictures, and they're real, I've looked them up. I've actually seen the pictures and seen like real pictures. They're not Photoshop pictures of the fire hydrants that are painted rainbow colors.
Sure.
And there's trans flags on fire trucks. And instead of putting money into stuff like that, why don't they, and DEI hirings and all this kind of bullshit, if they would have put the money into the right spot, maybe they would have been prepared for something like this. And, you get stupid ass Biden and these wackos saying it's climate change. No, it's not. Well, it's climate change in the sense that the climate is always changing. Yes, the climate has changed forever. It will continue to change.
Climate change did not take water out of the hydrants.
No. The past two winters have been really nice and warm here, and above average, and not a lot of snow like we used to get. This year we've been bombarded with cold and snow. It's going to continue. It just happens. Climate changes all the damn time. Mm-hmm. Now you got Channel 3 out there putting up polls saying, hey, what do you think about climate change causing all the snow that we're getting? No, it's fucking January in Cleveland. How about that?
Yeah, all the snow we've been getting. This isn't 1978, folks. There's not 3 feet of snow on the ground. What is there, 6 inches maybe?
Yeah, I mean, we got
in January.
We got 18 inches here in Provia Heights.
In January.
But it is what it is.
That's what you're supposed to get in January in Ohio.
We bitch about it, but that's the way it is. I remember years ago sitting in Olmsted Falls at a parking lot of our apartment building, and my wife couldn't even get her car out because there was so much snow. It happens. And then we've gone a few winters where it hasn't been too bad. But they knew these winds were coming. All right, they sucked. The winds were terrible. You know what? They also are blaming some of these fires on arson, not climate change. They did arrest, by the way, an illegal immigrant with a fucking blowtorch, admitting he was trying to start fires.
Yeah.
Oh, climate change. Yeah, the wind blew his fucking ass over the border. How about that?
Yeah, I mean, I don't get the climate change argument, other than people are just looking to, it's that old argument of never let a good catastrophe go to waste. That's the only thing I can think of with it, is that's where we're at with this. But it just sucks.
That is the blizzard of '93. Okay, yeah. I remember a blizzard when I was dating my wife. It was Valentine's, or married to my wife. It was only for a couple of years, maybe. And it was a blizzard so bad that they shut down bars, restaurants, and everything else. It was an emergency use of roads only, which I did use to go buy alcohol, by the way.
Of course you did.
That was an emergency. But I couldn't go to work that night because the bar was closed that I DJ'd at. So don't tell me about this climate change crap. I'm so sick and tired of hearing about it.
All right, let's switch directions here. Our guest is here. The great Pete. Yeah, now he's gone. He left because you're talking about climate. No, I'm sure he can handle it. The band is Sons of Silver.
Yes.
My old friend Peter Argyropoulos, and I know I butcher it, but I always do, is the singer. He will be back. He will be on in a second. But first, let's give everybody a little taste of what he's doing. Has a brand new, their debut album, although they've done a couple of EPs. It's called Runaway Emotions. Let's play a little of Tell Me This, and we will be back with Peter RG of Sons of Silver in a minute, right here on The Seth Williams Show.
Last time I saw you was a blast. Strapped to love onto your chest. Serenade me with a Smith. We could be friends. I figured out a long time ago who was real and who was show. I think we both know. Yeah, we could be friends. Tell me this, tell me this. Is there anything at all I missed? Tell me this, tell me this. Do you recognize my ass on your lips? Tell me this, tell me this. Fast forward love.
You like that, don't you, Seth?
I love that. I actually told you yesterday. I've been listening to all the music. It was fantastic. Good stuff.
Very good. Well, let's bring him on. He is the singer of the band Sons of Silver. He is Peter Argyropoulos. Peter, how are you, brother?
Good. How you doing, Chris?
Good,
What's up,
man.
Chris? Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. I just wanted to get this off. I'm judging by your last name. I'm going to say you are Peruvian.
Irish.
I gotcha.
We dropped the O. My family dropped the O when they came over to the States to shorten it a bit. You know.
Really?
Nice.
Well, nice to meet you. Good to have you on.
Thanks, man. Thanks. It's great to be here.
Dude, I feel like I've been following the rise of Sons of Silver literally since you were demoing. It seems like what is this, our third or fourth time doing this?
You have. You were there at the very beginning, Chris. I mean, if not the first, second, third interview. I mean, you definitely get street creds for that.
Thank you.
I don't know what they're worth, but
not much. Not much, man. But it's been fun watching you guys grow, and honestly, man, it's fun watching you develop the sound. I think you've used the EPs and the time and the member changes and stuff to really hone what you were doing. I don't think you sound very different, but I think you do have growth and difference as you run into the debut Runaway Emotions. So talk a little bit about that, man. Do you feel like it's changed and developed and grown? Do you feel different now than you did, I don't know, 3-4 years ago, whatever it was?
yeah, absolutely. It's definitely grown. It's grown in a direction or a sound that we wanted, which is just, a little bigger, more confident, meant for big stages. That's what I meant by bigger, and pretty, as far as the music's, we pushed our out of our safe zone while not getting getting caught up in what the trends are. We kind of do our own thing, borrowing from the past, borrowing from what's going on, and stay in our own lane. And that's it's been good. We had the one lineup change with drummers, with our original drummer Dave Cruzen leaving after the first two LPs, and then Mark Slutsky joining the band for this. I'm sorry, after the first two EPs, and then Mark Slutsky joining for this LP, and it was, what we thought was going to be a horrible experience ended up being a seamless transition, and it took us to new heights. So it's been great.
So, yes, I hate to admit this, but I was stealing money from you because I was listening to you on Spotify.
Wait, no, I think I saw that check. I got like 8 rubles.
Well, I'm glad I could contribute to that. But I was listening to your stuff, and it has a good sound. Where did you get your sound from? Because I couldn't put my finger on what the sound is, but I love it. I mean, it's a good. I don't know how to describe that kind of rock.
It's some folks have called it neoclassic rock, which is kind of odd to me.
Well, no, because I could hear that classic rock feel. I said to my wife, I hear like a Bob Seger mixed with like new rock kind of stuff. Yeah,
no, it is. I mean, we're borrowing from as far back as the Stones, the Beatles, and up through U2 and the 80s, and Mellencamp, Springsteen, huge influence for me because my dad in particular played them all the time. And then you go through the 90s. So we borrowed from all of that. yeah, we do our own twist. We try to make it, relevant today, new, and at the same time, we're very conscious not to be derivative, as many newer acts are right now, who are sort of trying to recapture the past. So even the way we dress, at times I think we're a little too bar bandish, in the sense of just being so ordinary when we're on stage. So we're probably spruce it up a little bit for this tour, but we're not going back and trying to dress like we're, Robert Plant, or Aerosmith, likes of that. And it just kind of works for us. We're just blending a lot of different ideas.
That's good. That's good stuff.
You definitely, I'm going to take a swing and tell me if I hit the ball or if I miss here. You are a huge fan of Darkness at the Edge of Town or Born to Run, because I hear that kind of the melancholy influence in a lot of your songs.
Yeah, we never listened to either of those albums.
Get out of here.
I actually, I've always said my desert island artists are the Beatles, Bono, as in U2, or the three Bs: Beatles, Bono, and Bruce.
Right.
Those are artists. I was a little kid, the Beatles before me, and so, but I grew up with them, and they're kind of in my DNA at this point, and yeah. So, but it's funny because actually, Darkness is probably, regarding Springsteen, is one of the albums I know the least. But
okay.
you could easily pull The River. There's a lot of similar.
Sure.
That's actually probably my favorite record of his, or album. But yeah, the melancholy is there also because I'm Greek, or I'm actually half Greek and the other half is Irish. So it's just, that's also in the DNA. It's meant to be kind of miserable and bitch about everything. That's, just how I'm wired.
Let me ask you this. I'm talking about Springsteen, because I tend to like the music, but I hate the guy. Wait.
I need a little clarity here. What is it about the man which rubs you wrong?
Well, that's what I'm getting to. And maybe I want to know how you feel about doing politics on stage. Because, I mean, look, I don't give a shit when I go to a concert about your politics. Whatever you like is what you like. All right. I have my own opinions, and I'm more than happy to say it, but I do a podcast.
Yeah.
But when I'm paying $200 for a nosebleed ticket to see a guy sing some songs, I want to see you sing some songs. I mean, do you do politics when on stage?
No, I don't like that. Frankly, I don't even like when people speak, for the most part. Now, I know Springsteen goes into his long storytelling,
sure.
and he's quite remarkable at that. Yeah. I don't appreciate the politics from anyone. In fact, I think it was back in the summer, one of my friends who lives in Austin, he texted me a few shots from seeing Roger Waters. Oh. And my friend, meanwhile, is an avid concert goer. I think he actually has, quote unquote, season tickets at some venue, so he can just go to concerts at will. And he texts me, and then he calls me up like a couple hours later. I'm like, how was the show? He goes, that's still going on. I said, well, why are you calling me? He goes, I left. And I said, why? He said, well, at about the 45-minute mark of Roger's political rant, I had enough, and I decided to go home. So, no, I frankly, I have a lot of opinions, as you do. I have, I have my way of sort of expressing them in the songs, which is a little vague because, frankly, I kind of stand, I don't want to say in the middle, but I stand in an open-minded way. I want to hear everyone's opinion. Even if I think you're a little off course, I'd like to hear it. Maybe it'll sway my opinion, and maybe I can write it down and go, such and such is a little off the rails.
Avoid.
I go to a concert, even if our stuff, a lot of it's social political, just because of my taste, the way I write it. But I don't want to hear that. I want to go there and have a moment, an experience, and that stuff. 30, 40 years ago, perhaps it was more relevant to do that stuff because we weren't being beaten over the head like we are every moment of every day now. Now it's like I want to escape that, you know. So I'm with you.
Right on. Well, Peter, before we start talking about the record itself a little bit, I do want to ask you about Cruz and leaving the band. And you don't need to tell me why or any of that stuff, but I'm curious, as well as anybody, the name Pearl Jam got a lot of eyes on you guys initially.
Yeah, it did.
And
it did.
And that, that's obviously a good thing. At the same time, he leaves the band. I have to imagine that almost made it tough. Like you almost felt like in the press, maybe you had to restart or readjust. How was that transition from him leaving, and did it impact the band, or had you established yourself enough to where it didn't hurt you maybe as much as you thought it might have?
Actually, it was more of a hindrance from the beginning than it was help. It helped us. It helped us booking, let's say, our first round of gigs around the country, because we could use it. We thought we could use it, or the promoters could use it as a selling point. It really wasn't that valuable there at all.
Okay.
But at least helped us get our foot in the door, or feet in the door. Did I say foot?
You said your foots.
Wow. That's right. You can see why I'm the writer of the band, lyricist. So anyway, but beyond that, no, actually it was quite fatiguing when it would be brought up, and it was especially hard for Dave because it's the last thing he wanted to hear. He was really proud of the work that we were doing, and he felt he just wanted it to be recognized for what it is. So that actually was an element, and a notable element of why he was like, I want to step away. The other element, frankly, was, I'll answer your question more directly in a second. He's a little older than us. He had done some things that maybe we hadn't done yet, and his kids were leaving home, and he sort of wanted some free time, and also he wanted to be able to chase his kids around a little bit, which anyone who has kids completely understands.
Sure.
So he was just, wanted to move on, didn't want to be in a band. He plays with other acts still, but not being in a band is it's a real commitment. So how it affected us, it didn't hurt us really with press at all, because we were distancing ourselves from that. And musically is where we were concerned, because we had really built up a strong chemistry working together. We spent a lot of time on the road together. We were close friends, always texting and calling each other about whatever, especially during COVID, we would really lean on each other. And we thought, how can we find someone who's going to fit in, much less get in quick, because it takes a while usually for that type of chemistry to develop. And so that when you're working together, you can really bare your soul, because we go for it on a lot of stuff, as far as we'll just all throw out ideas, trade ideas that sometimes they're just, like, what the fuck is that?
Right.
But in a good way. It turned out we were fortunate that we were referred to Mark Slutsky, and Mark fit in not just seamlessly, better, and it really elevated us. And so no, there weren't any hiccups with that. It was actually very smooth. But I get the question, and it makes sense.
Sure. How did the creative element change? Because you guys by that point had a pretty strong way of doing things. Did it change, or was it seamless?
It was pretty seamless. It was we had a couple tracks that we borrowed pieces of from our time with Dave, and so we were able to bring that in. And then we also had about 2-3 weeks there where, as we were prepping up to record what was originally intended to be an EP, it ended up becoming an LP. We were prepping songs. Myself in particular was getting the ideas together. I'd bring them to Adam, Kevin, and Brina, and we'd suss them out. And we were working with the drum machine, and that was really interesting, because I'm none of us are fans of drum machines as your main player. It's a supplemental or for sounds, sure, I guess that's fine. Still not really our thing. But once Mark came in, in fact, actually what happened really is we were looking in our circle and couldn't find anyone who we thought was appropriate. And I reached out to John Fields, who mixed Ordinary Sex Appeal, our second EP. Mm-hmm. And John's a Grammy award-winning engineer and mix engineer and producer. And he comes from a similar circle as us. So he kind of knew what we needed and had some people to draw from. He recommended Mark as well as Isaac Carpenter. Isaac ended up playing. We worked with both of them. Isaac's ended up playing on Just Getting Started. That's Isaac playing. We wrote that song with him, in fact, within like 30 minutes. But both those guys came in and were like, oh my God, the band's not done. These guys are amazing, not just players, but as people. Mark ended up joining the band. I can't remember your question. I'm going on so long here, but but it was really the workflow changed in the sense that we didn't jam as much as we had in the past and building up some songs with Cruisin', but we worked things in. We found a slightly different rhythm that was just as good, if not better. Mark's a little more meticulous, it really shines on certain songs like "Tell Me This," "Baby Hang On," "Ghosts," "Hold Tight," amazingly, and more than anything on "Running Out of Words." Mark had a heavy hand because he saw strength in that song before. He and Brina in particular saw strength in that song before the others did, and even more so than myself in some ways. And they really pushed it hard and helped dial it in. And so it was a good passing of the baton.
That's a great tune, by the way. That's when I was listening yesterday. I was digging that tune. You guys are LA guys, right?
Yeah.
So what's that? What's a fire situation out by you?
Well, it's look out my window right now. Oh no, I can see it from this room right here.
No,
we're about. I live in Venice Beach. The rest of the guys live around in non-fire areas around the city, and we could all see it. But I definitely, we had the best view. Breen and I, we were actually a week ago. We were getting ready in the morning to go to rehearsal in North Hollywood, which is about 25 miles from here on the other side of town. And I left early. We were driving separately, and as I was going, I told her, I called her and I said, "Honey," I said, "you better plot your course a little different than normal." I said, "because there's a huge fire somewhere in Santa Monica." I said, "It's massive," and we weren't surprised because the winds were really heavy that morning, and usually heavy winds at this time of year will kick up a fire. And she says, "Oh, it's not in Santa Monica; it's up in the hills." And she said, "I can see the flames. They're huge from our roof." So yeah, we watched the flames for the next few days. It was crazy. It's pretty bad. The last day or so, it's cleared up, but there's still some ash falling.
I don't want to turn this political like we talked about earlier, but who do people in LA blame for this stuff? I've heard people are blaming Trump for this. I've heard people are blaming Newsom for this. I heard people are blaming the illegal that they picked up with a blowtorch today. I mean, who are the locals blaming for these fires? Obviously, it's this stuff happens all the time out in LA.
I mean, I had a friend who was over today earlier, and she lives in Malibu, and her and her husband have a nice home. And theirs was one of only like 2 or 3 in their block, so to speak, their bluff that was saved. I think there were like another 7 or 8 others that were all burned out. And we were talking about it, and there's a lot of blame for the city. I mean, I definitely have my pet peeves with the city for a number of reasons. And I don't like to speak much about politics really, but I'll say they're thoroughly incompetent here. And they've been for a long time. I've said it for a long time. They don't deserve an ounce of our support. They don't deserve $1 of our money. And at the same time, a lot of folks keep voting them in for reasons I don't know. I think it's because they're really not paying attention. Well, I know because of corruption, because one of my friends used to be involved in it, not in the corruption, but in working with them. So there's that. But frankly, a lot of folks, I've had a couple other friends who lost their homes in the Palisades. One of them, he grew up, born and raised there, and they all knew the same thing. This is fire country. If someone said to you, "Hey, LA had a bad earthquake," would you be like, "Oh my God, they had an earthquake"? No,
true.
Like, oh, LA had an earthquake. You knew it was coming. Same with fires. We get fires in these areas every single year, every year, if not more than once a year. This was unusual in that they all struck at once at a time when we had unusually heavy winds, but not unprecedented heavy winds.
Sure.
So people need to accept that when you build in these hot spots that have always been hot spots, this will happen, and prepare accordingly.
Well, I didn't mean to get political on you. I just know that it's nice to get a perspective from somebody that actually lives there, because all we do is hear the news reports and all the, people from the outside.
It's all tilted.
Don't get me wrong. This was nasty. I mean, I could here. Check this out. I'll pull up my phone here, see if you guys can see this. Let's see here. Let's see with this one here. Can you guys see this? Let's see.
Put you on full screen.
There's a reflection. There we go.
There you go.
That was the view from our roof. That's looking east.
That's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, we climbed up on the roof. Or no, actually, no. That's from a window. Yeah.
Oh my
Crazy,
God.
right?
Man,
Oh,
Wow.
wow.
That's
Yeah,
nuts.
we have our son just turned 4, and he hasn't been out of the house in nearly a week now, and needless to say, Breen is about ready to throw him through a wall.
Let me ask you
stay
this,
safe
Peter.
out there, man. Stay safe.
Yeah,
out
no
there.
kidding. Well, he's leaving. That's kind of
Yeah.
my question. You're getting ready to leave. Are you nervous about leaving?
No, I mean, no. I mean, we're look, if our neighborhood goes down, well, from those fires, there'll be bigger problems in the world. No, I mean, I feel horrible about this stuff, but we should be prepared for it. I mean, these are things that are going to happen. I mean, I shed tears over it when I heard some stories, and especially from a couple of my friends, because I know these areas very well. They're beautiful, but this kind there's a reason. I shouldn't say there's a reason. They're prone to fires. That's just sadly so. You know,
That's crazy.
yeah.
Well, dude, since we mentioned you're leaving, let's talk about your leaving. You're going out on a great tour. I mean, you're going out with Myles Kennedy. I'll say this as somebody that has seen him perform solo. I've seen him in all his iterations with Slash, with Alter Bridge, and of course solo. I don't think people understand what they're getting ready to see with Myles. Everybody always thinks he's this mild-mannered acoustic performer solo. He's not. Like, he brings it really hard. Are you familiar with what he does solo, and are you adjusting your music to be kind of heavier or more rockin' to accommodate who you're playing with?
No, I'm not as familiar with his solo acoustic work. I've heard a few tracks online, and sound amazing. He's and by all accounts, from our close friends who've worked with him, he's a great guy.
Yeah.
As is Tim Montana, who's on the bill. In fact, Adam, our bass player, had a chance to meet Tim a few months back when Adam was playing with Candlebox, and they were doing a couple weeks worth of dates with Tim.
Right.
And no, and we're not adjusting. We do our thing, and that's it. And it's funny because that those thoughts always will cross your mind. Should I adjust? And before we even had a chance for those thoughts to really become a conversation in the band, a number of folks in the industry, and journalists or podcasters such as you guys said to us, "Oh, this is a great lineup for you guys. You won't have to change a thing because it's a lot of really open-minded rock people."
True.
And it should be a good balance of acts. Tim will probably be the heaviest, will be the lightest, and Myles will be somewhere in between. But we're just a good rock and roll band, and we deliver it pretty honestly. So I think that's what most good rock fans want.
Sure. How do you choose a set list now? Do you choose what you think people? I mean, you've had a couple of hits, obviously, on Billboard and whatnot, so I'd imagine those, of course, make it. But how do you choose? Do you choose basically of a live flow, or do you choose on what you want to share with people so that they maybe gravitate to the band? How do you make that choice?
It's hard now because we're accumulating a bunch of good songs that are starting to get really well known, and so you choose it carefully, and you have to cut some stuff out that you don't want to cut out, and then maybe swap songs here and there. But basically, in this particular case, the focus is on the new album, obviously, and with one song from each of the first 2 EPs, and that's and then you sort of adjust where you need going along. But generally, we're going to keep to pretty much the same set most nights, simply for no other reason than most people still, an overwhelming majority of people don't know us or have never seen us live. Right. So if we start pulling songs, we're probably going to be pulling songs that are among our better ones to make that first impression with.
Do you want to? This is the only way that you can really make money these days, right? Going on tour and trying to push the merchandise through the tours and stuff like that. Is it really
make
difficult?
A fortune on Spotify?
Oh, I'm sure. All the money's rolling in from those plays on Spotify. But is it that difficult these days to make money being a rock band?
Is it hard?
Yeah.
It's really hard.
I mean, do you want to kick the people from Spotify like in the fucking face and say, "Quit stealing my money"? How do rock bands, how are bands in general going to take back their music?
To put it all on Spotify is completely unfair. I think
Apple, Amazon.
The issue probably goes back to the days of Steve Jobs, when Steve Jobs said, well, 10 songs, $10 for an album, then that's $1 for each song. Why on earth the record labels let him get away with that is beyond me. But that the gauntlet was thrown, or whatever, however you say it, at that point, and everything fell apart. And not to say that the system before that was all that great, but it's this can't last. I could go into details about, and I don't care about saying this. I'm actually happy to say it, but I'm not going to go into details. I'll just say it generally.
Sure.
I could go into details about the way in which Spotify operates, and these things are starting to come out now. That it's a joke. It's a joke. The streams are a joke. The playlists are a joke. More and more of the artists you hear on there aren't real artists. So yes, the only real way to make money is the one real thing they can't steal at this point, which is your performance.
Do you think it's going to change?
Do I think it's going to change? Not anytime soon. It will eventually change. There'll be a disruptor that will come along. But even the model of subscription doesn't really work, at least in the music industry. I can't speak to, let's say TV or film, but in the music industry, it doesn't work. So look, I love performing live, so it's great. And I love meeting and hanging out with fans. It's going to our merch booth as we do every show and talking to people. It's nearly as rewarding as actually playing on stage, or fun. But it's a grind. And to know that your music's out there is wonderful, but at the same time, to know that other folks, in some of these streaming services and the likes, are making a lot of money, or pretending to make a lot, because a lot of this is fake,
right?
And to help boost their stock prices and the likes, to know that they're making money off of your back. It's frustrating, but I just sort of set that aside and plow through. But eventually, it's truly a house of cards.
What about the future of AI with music? I mean, we're able to go online, use AI to create a rock song. It sounds like a rock song. It sounds like Metallica's freaking singing on our computer with words we just plug and play. Well, is AI something that is concerning to bands?
We've had that for a number of years in a different form, where people can just sort of drop stuff into, drop loops and chord progressions into their, Logic or what's a garage band, and put stuff out there and sort of crowd the market. That's been going on for a while. And I think, I think a song, speaking for ourselves, a song like Running Out of Words speaks for itself. If you look at the video just came out on Friday. I think we're around 50,000 views in 3 days, which is great for a band like us. And if you look at the comments on YouTube, for instance, in spite of YouTube being a really great payer, that it overwhelmingly reaches people because it's genuine, and it is genuine. Every single note, every lyric in that song comes from our hearts, and people see that, they hear it, and they want to go see a show. So that's great. I lost my train of thought again. I'm sorry. I'm tired. I slept like 3 hours last night.
I just think that I think we need to take
the AI. You're saying AI thing, but here's a problem with it. When you have a subscription service, right? And so effectively, it's divvying up the pie, so to speak, to the various artists. Well, when you find out that the different streaming services are putting in their own AI projects, or their works for hire, hiring 1 or 2 people to go make thousands of tracks, that crowds out the space. And then when they promote the playlists that they promote those songs on more favored playlists, that sort of drives down the revenue that has to go out of the companies to artists such as myself and the U2s and the likes of that. So at some point, that model can't exist, because the artists aren't making any money, they'll start going elsewhere. I mean, like, frankly, if I could figure out a good way, and I've been working on it, I know a bunch of artists are as well, to not put our music on Spotify and just get it out there enough to our core group of fans, I'd do it. Why? Why not try something different? Because these guys aren't helping me really much.
What do you think of Bandcamp? Or is that another one?
Bandcamp's fine. But it's not really it's because of the way in which it operates, it's not as friendly to your average listener, even someone like myself. I mean, Spotify is go on there and grab whatever you want, which is amazing because it keeps all this catalog at your fingertips. I mean, think about it. When we were kids growing up, did you listen to Frank Sinatra much? No, you didn't listen to anything that you couldn't get a hold of easily.
Sure. So
now you can. So it makes everything that's existed very new. It could be even Bach's concertos, the Brandenburg concertos that you may have you'd have. Who wants to, when you're 12, 15, 20 years old, go out and buy the Brandenburg concertos? No one's doing it now.
Right.
You'll flip that stuff on in a moment because
just to see if you like.
But you know what though? It's depressing that I can't go to a Best Buy and go to a section that has CDs and albums and pick up something that I can take home with me, open up, look at liner notes, look at lyrics, and I can't do that anymore. You
got to go to a show. You have to or order it directly from the band. That's I mean, in all fairness though, back in the days of when it was Best Buy, or when you even had like the big Virgin Mega stores, or you go to Target,
Capital, or wherever,
whatever. Yeah.
Some of the all-in-one, but back to the all-in-one stores like you were mentioning, those were lost leaders. Walmart, they were always lost leaders. They were there to draw people to the stores and then buy items where there was actually a profit that could be made.
Sure.
So selling of music has never, hasn't really been a very profitable thing for very long. Maybe 100+ years ago, people were, writing songs and on a daily basis that were sort of like news calls, because they'd write a song about, the war with Spain, or they write a song about the invasion of, Panama or something, or building the canal. But there was money made in publishing there, but the actual recording audio is a very brief window in time where it was truly profitable. Because right now, the money is very circular. What's going on? If people look at the details, it's kind of flowing out of the labels to the artists who spend money to promote themselves, get on playlists, pay for virtual machines to get hooked up around the world and play their music. Which that's a whole other can of worms. And even at that, still Spotify until recently has had a tough time making money. And then Apple, I hate to say it about Apple, you guys have been great to us with your playlisting and the likes. They don't care about music that much. They just don't. Can you blame them? I mean, it's such a small thing.
Well, and look, I'm going to take the focus off of the technology for a minute, and I'm just going to go back to a core thing, which is I don't think I'm 56. My generation, probably from like the people that are now 40 to 60, that generation, we did a terrible job teaching our kids to value music. Like for us, I mean, come on. You grabbed an album, whatever it was, Springsteen, Stones, whatever. You learned every word that was written in it. You learned every producer. You knew every person that played a triangle on this song or whatever. You knew their name. We did not instill that in the current generation. And now we're seeing the result.
Yeah, I don't know if I agree with you on that, though. I think it's just the nature of the times. The kids, look, music's all around us now. I was thinking, it's really funny. The other day, like a week or two ago, I was flipping through YouTube. You ever do something like with YouTube where you sort of get on the
rabbit hole?
Yeah, right. And they go on for a few days, because as soon as you watch a few of a certain type of video, they all of a sudden start popping up in your feed. So, I got on one about watching stuff from like the 1800s and how people lived, where they lived, blah, 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 blah. So there was this one where what a meal was like in 1820s, backwater of the United States.
Okay.
So it shows this scene where this woman is cooking a meal at her home, and the process she goes through, and it was pretty interesting. And then I realized it was so quiet. she's in this homestead out, let's say somewhere in the northern Midwest, and it's just quiet and serene. I'm thinking, wow, like at our house, a lot of my friends' houses, you'd hear music playing in the background. You can't do it. Even kids before streaming, I mean, you have to go put a CD on. You'd have to, before that, vinyl or a cassette. So we live with it constantly around us in the background. So our kids, it's kind of like, plentiful water. It's just always there. You take it for granted. You drip it all over yourself. You throw it around the house, blah, blah, blah. That's how it is. But I got to tell you, my son, he knows how to work a turntable because we showed him. My friends, similar things. And he knows the music to everyone from U2 to the tiny time capsule, kids show. So I think they do. It's just they consume it in a different way. They're not as it's not as much of a ritual as it once was.
Right on. Well, man, you're obviously going out on tour with Myles and with Tim Montana. What follows? Do you have something coming beyond that, or is that seeing how this goes and then adjusting from that?
No, we're looking to be out on the road again late spring, early summer. We have a few things penciled in right now, and I expect by the end of the Myles tour we'll have that inked up. And we want to keep going through the year as hard as we can. We're hoping. I mean, look, frankly, we're hoping to get in 80 to 100 or more dates.
Nice.
Mostly.
About time.
Yeah, that's definitely about time.
We want you to come to Cleveland because nothing ever comes here.
We're
the
rock
and roll capital of the world. Apparently, we don't get any shows to come here anymore.
Because you're like royalty. We're in awe.
Right? Yeah, that's it. I'm sure that's it. That's perfect. Our city sucks. That's why nobody comes here anymore.
No.
But
I genuinely love Cleveland. I love Cleveland.
You're not getting shot downtown or slipping on ice. I think you're okay. But
is downtown that bad now?
Yeah, it's pretty dangerous.
It's not that great.
It's not quite Detroit, but we're climbing fast.
We want to get some good music here, man. I'm sick and tired of. I have this theory about music these days, rock music anyway. Just a bunch of pussies out there playing crap pussy rock, and I want to hear some good rock music. I listened to you guys yesterday. You guys are good rock. We need a resurgence of rock music, and it needs to start coming back to this town. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame city's got nothing. It's pathetic. So we need more music like you guys.
Well, we almost had a fill-in gig on this tour. Not fill-in, but like on an off day, we almost did a club gig, but we couldn't get the dates to line up. So no, I would actually be very surprised if we're not in Cleveland, by sometime this summer. That would.
I know. I want to see it. Where can people buy your stuff? Since we're talking about
Yeah, we're not going to tell them go to Spotify. Where should we tell them to go buy something?
You actually can buy it on Spotify now. But you just go to our website, sonsofsilver.com. We have a great web store there. We actually have a new merch fulfillment company that's really helped us refine our design. So we have some great new stuff. You can get vinyl, you can get CDs, signed stuff, unsigned stuff. It's sonsofsilver.com. That's the place to go.
Very good. Well, dude, let's wrap this up by giving people a taste of Running Out of Words. Tell us about the video. Tell us about the song to wrap it up.
The song is the story of our journey as a band and the emotions. It comes from the emotions and the trials and tribulations we had to go through and the ones we still see coming up ahead. And it's a very, very personal song. And it's one of my favorite songs I've ever written or co-written. And the music video was shot at our rehearsal space here in Venice. It's actually a temporary space for us. It's an old warehouse that was once a gondola storage house back in the day. And my son, or Brian and our son, is in the video because he lends himself to the story of a reckoning with the past, with the present, and sort of looking at the future. And I want to add that it was shot by Ryan Calavano, who's shot nearly all of our music videos, and he did a really good job. And we're really happy with this video. It's meant to be portray us in a very genuine, situation because frankly, we had tried shooting the music video earlier in the year, and we tried to sort of act out some stuff, and
no,
I don't even think it'll make the D reels someday. I think we could be the biggest band in the world, and that will still never leave. One of those things like, oh, that'll be fun to laugh at now.
Nope.
And I told him, I warned him, I said, you want me to act? Me? No.
Very good, man. Well, one more time, the band is Sons of Silver, out on tour with Myles Kennedy. If it comes near you, go see it. It'll be a great night out. Runaway Emotions is the album. Go buy it. You can stream it too, I guess, but stream it after you buy it. How's that? Buy it so that you have something to hang on your wall, and stream it so that you can hear it.
There you go.
And Peter, as always, man, this has been fun, and good luck on the tour, and we'll see you eventually when you come here to Cleveland.
Appreciate it. Thanks
right
for coming. Big fan, man. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you, guys. Thanks, Seth, Chris. Once again, thank you. Really appreciate it. You guys are great.
Brother. Thank you.
All right, brother. Take care, man.
Soon,
yeah.
All right.
All right, see it.
Later.
Every day the week grows longer, long enough to hang my head, humbled by the test of time. Sha-la-la-la, holding up my arms, surrender, open up my hands and ask, someday will you answer me? Sha-la-la-la. Working on a Monday morning, working through a Sunday night, round the clock and round my neck, sha-la-la-la. Old enough to know what's better, old enough to know what's right, someday time will punish me, sha-la-la-la.
There's plenty of places to experience the Seth Williams Show, but if you want all the content, you need to join us on Minds. Get all the live episodes of the show every Monday and Wednesday from 4 to 5:30 p.m. Get the special bonus footage every Wednesday from 5:30 to 6 p.m. Get bonus content from Seth and Chris as it's produced. It's only $4.99 per month, so don't wait. Sign up today. Visit us at www.minds.com/Seth Williams Show.
I dig that band, man. I like his voice. I like the tunes that I heard.
They're good.
I was listening, like I said, I was listening on Spotify yesterday. I was stealing money from him, but
No, Sons of Silver's a great band, man. They are really. I wouldn't bring a garbage band to. It doesn't have to be metal. No one said it was metal. Who said it was metal?
nobody. But I'll tell you what, I had never heard of the band before yesterday when you texted me, and then I listened and I really like it. And
yeah, they're strong, man.
I'll check out their website and see,
Dude, it's so
unless
funny.
we can get a free copy of the CD, Chris.
I'm sure we probably can. I'm sure if I ask. I've known Peter since for about 5 years. Like during the pandemic is when the first EP hit. And I ain't gonna lie, that's why I brought it up in the interview. I 100% did the interview so I could interview Dave Cruzen the first time because he was in Pearl Jam. Right. That was my whole reason, was I wanted to interview a Pearl Jam guy. And I interviewed Cruzen, and then I interviewed Peter, and we got to strike up a little bit of a friendship. And then, we've interviewed 3 or 4 times now. So good dude, man. Good dude. And he's a real dude. That's what I like. Not the typical LA douchebag that we get.
No, he seemed like a good guy, and it was interesting to talk to him. So.
Yeah, good dude. Go out there, get that record, Runaway Emotions. It's well worth your time. And even Seth is liking it. So that should tell you.
A couple other things real quick here. I want to say happy birthday to my wife.
25 already?
Yeah, she'll be 26 actually tomorrow.
Oh, happy birthday.
Happy birthday to my lovely wife. And also, we are going to be, Bob France is doing a giveaway kind of thing. Not a giveaway, a raffle, if you will.
Okay.
And it's going to be starting soon. And if you want to get a chance to go on a fabulous trip to France and you check out the D-Day landing sites, you're going to go to Normandy and check out the cemetery out there. You're going to do all kind of great things. I mean, it's going to be a very emotional, informative trip to France. And then, you get to do all the D-Day stuff, which is going to be, again, incredible to check out. But then also you'll get to, see the other French, whatever you want to see, sightseeing stuff. We're going to be doing a raffle that's going to benefit the Travis Mills Foundation.
Very good.
We're going to start selling tickets shortly, and I will have all the info here on this show when we do that. So looking forward to that.
Are you going?
If I buy a ticket.
Oh, man, come on.
Bob is going. He's taking a bunch of people out there, but again, you can win a trip, and the value of the trip is quite expensive. I mean, the tickets are going to be. Yeah. I mean, you're going to have a 1 in 500 shot of winning. This trip.
I think maybe like two. Several $1,000s worth of trip.
Oh yeah, it's several thousands.
Sounds good.
You can buy a trip. You can buy a trip if you just want to go, but if you want a chance to win, tickets are going to be like $100.
Okay.
You're going to have like a 2 in 500 chance of winning.
Well, that ain't bad. That's pretty solid.
It's going to be very cool.
Very good.
So listen for details on that as well as the podcast moving to the Salem Podcast Radio Network, which hopefully is going to be happening in the next few weeks.
Well, that'll be good. Notice I have not said a cuss word yet. We're an hour.
I did all of it.
You said them all. I have not said one cuss word. We're an hour and 20 in.
But, I work in radio all the time, every day, so, I know how to do it.
Yeah, I did it for 12 years. I know how to do it. I just don't choose to do it.
Yeah.
That's really what it comes down to.
I'm going to swear right now because it's fucking cold in this room. I don't know what the hell's going on in this house.
Yeah, it's cold too. It's cold here. I got my heater right here, but it's still cold.
Somebody left a space heater on. Sometimes I work on Friday nights. I go into work and do some stuff. And somebody left a space heater on in a radio studio. And I was leaving. It was like midnight.
Right.
And it was 112 degrees in that studio. And space heater is plugged in on the floor, on the carpet, and blasting on high. If I would have left, that thing would have been all damn weekend, burn the whole place down.
Right.
But thank God I was a firefighter myself.
That's right.
And stopped the blaze from happening. Probably saved many lives.
Cleveland could have been on fire the same as L.A.
See?
If it wasn't for you.
If it wasn't for me. They have the Santa Ana winds or whatever they're called.
Yeah.
We have the Independence winds. It would have been blowing all over the place. It would have been nasty.
We would have had the Salem communication winds. Blowing fire everywhere.
Terrible. Awful. I need some fire blown towards the icicles hanging from my damn house.
Yeah, no kidding.
Don't forget to join us on Wednesday. Wednesday is going to be a big day here. Big day.
Yes.
Big day on the podcast. We're going to be, I'm not going to be, but our good friend John Doggy Drake is going to be the guy that does our Browns reports for the show. He lost his bet. His pathetic loser Browns only won 3 games.
3-14.
So John will be eating some crickets on Wednesday.
Yes, he will. Will you have Tony on to evaluate his cuisine?
Maybe, yeah. He's not busy going to restaurants for the show, so he's got to be doing something.
Nice.
But yes, Bloom Doggy will be eating some crickets. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Although I'm sure he's going to punk out in some way, not eat very many. It'll be like a cricket that he's going to eat. And
he's not going to do that.
We've got something else up his sleeve. Something's going to happen. It won't be.
No,
but I'm looking forward to it, nonetheless.
Yeah, he's going to do what he's supposed to do.
Scott will not be working on Wednesday. More big news for the show.
There we go. That is big news. Scott's going to be available to watch. That's the biggest news of the day.
And we need all the listeners that we can get.
Yes, we do. So.
Not too many today. So.
Yeah, they're over. They're on Rumble.
So apparently they're now laying out charges for looters over there in L.A. People are going to homes that are burned down or abandoned because of evacuations and just stealing shit.
Oh, that seems good.
And I heard Greg Gutfeld the other day on Fox.
Mm-hmm.
He said, here's the solution. Shoot them.
Yes.
You see somebody looting a house, shoot them. What's wrong with that?
Nothing to me. Nothing
totally agree.
Yeah, I mean, just end their life. They're not worth being here anyway.
Yeah, you should be shot if your solution to your problems are going into somebody's house when they evacuate because of a fire, or you're going through their rubble to steal their personal belongings.
Yeah.
You deserve to get shot.
I agree. Totally agree.
I'm sure we'll have some discussions on that on Wednesday as well.
Yeah, maybe. I think we're just going to talk nothing but crickets on Wednesday.
We will preview the big Ohio State Notre Dame game, national championship game happening on Monday. And
I guess
also,
I'll have to read about it because I know nothing about it.
The inauguration of Donald J. Trump will be happening on Monday as well. So we'll have plenty of things to preview.
Yeah, I guess I don't have to do any show prep for Monday either. I guess that's what
Monday
we'll be
night will
talking
be
about.
one big giant inauguration because I guarantee there's going to be like protesters and all kind of shit.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure we'll have quite the show on Monday.
Yes, I am. So next couple of shows hopefully will be quite entertaining.
Yes, I'd imagine.
But I think it's time to just wrap this thing up today.
Yeah, I think we're done. We've given you folks enough.
Yeah,
enough of our greatness.
For more greatness on Wednesday.
That's right.
Thanks everybody for listening. Thanks for Peter for coming on from the band Sons of Silver.
Yes.
And God willing, we will talk to you again Wednesday. And then don't forget to sign up for Minds in the meantime, minds.com/Seth Williams Show, and get yourself some extra content. Yep. And we need to talk about some of that because I know one of our faithful listeners was having a problem. So
with Minds?
Yes. I'll just lay it out there now. Tom, you know Tom?
Yeah.
Photographer that we had on?
Yeah.
Friend of mine?
Yeah.
He signed up and he's being, I shouldn't say because I don't want anybody to have any kind of worry about it. Don't worry about it. Sign up for Minds.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
We'll figure out all the kinks, problems if there are any.
Okay.
Have a great rest of your day and a good Tuesday. We'll talk to you on Wednesday.
All right. See you, folks.
Amen.
Seth Williams loves this land, stands tall and proud. Believes in freedom, speaks his mind out loud. Mentored by Trip, he learned to be tough. Life knocked him down, but he got back up. Lost a leg, but he's still strong and true. Chasing dreams under skies of red, white, and blue. Voting for Trump, he shouts it clear. WTAM tried to bring him down, but he's still here. In the heart of America, Seth takes a stand. Against the tides, he defends our land. Liberals call him crazy, but he don't care. He's got the spirit of an eagle, soaring high in the air. Hates LeBron James, won't wear that crown. Prefers hard work and blue jeans in this town. Radio waves try to shut him up, but Seth keeps singing, filling that cup. From the small town streets to the mountain high, Seth sees the flag waving, reaching for the sky. He keeps on fighting with a rebel yell, for every fallen soldier and the stories they tell. In the heart of America, Seth takes a stand. Against the tides, he defends our land. Liberals call him crazy, but he don't care. He's got the spirit of an eagle, soaring high in the air. From the small town streets to the mountain high, Seth sees the flag waving, reaching for the sky. He keeps on fighting with a rebel yell, for every fallen soldier and the stories they tell. In the heart of America, Seth takes a stand. Against the tides, he defends our land. Liberals call him crazy, but he don't care. He's got the spirit of an eagle, soaring high in the air.